everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel, #moviebae. I am moviebae, and in this video I'm going to be doing a review over Tyler Perry's newest creation entitled Beauty in Black episodes 1 and 2. But before we get to it though, I would like for y'all to drop down and hit the subscribe button. Thank you. Because here on moviebae, I do reviews, reactions, and commentary to movies and television. And if that is the type of content you like, you might as well stick around and hit the subscribe button. And if you find yourself enjoying my commentary along the way, don't be afraid to give me a thumbs up and or drop a comment down below. Now, if you're new here, you don't know this, but I don't really see it for Tyler Perry. I feel like he has everything it takes to make great content, but he kind of gets lazy and just puts out anything because he knows he's going to turn a profit off of it. But surprisingly, this project here, well, one, is something different, and two, it actually held my attention. The pacing was good. He didn't linger too long on later episodes. He kind of fell into his Tyler Perry-ish ways, but for the most part, good job, Tyler Perry. So yeah, I decided to review it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into episode 1 entitled Make It Rain. So we're first introduced to Kimmy. All right, she's going to be like one of our leads in her quote unquote trick, right? So he is doped out. He's rude, and he says that he wants to take her out of the shadows, but he can't do that because she still dresses like she belongs in the shadows. And I'm thinking like, baby, you must be new to tricking, because if you want to take me out of the shadows, buy it for me. If you want me to look a certain way, pay for it. What are you talking about, guy? Like, immediately it gave projection. It gave that he's only this rude to her because somebody somewhere, regardless if it's work or personal life, somebody is treating him like doo-doo. So in return, he has to treat somebody else like that. So Kimmy is, of course, tired of this lifestyle, and we also meet up with her friend Rain. Now, these two are both dancers. They're both pros, okay? And throughout episode 1 and 2, we kind of get flashbacks of how they meet. So we find out that Kimmy's mom actually dropped her off at Walmart at the age of 17. Yes, Walmart at the age of 17, because her stepdad was getting a little bit weird. And you know how, like, people drop their kids off at the fire station when they don't want them? Well, drop your teenager off at Walmart when you no longer want them. That was kind of dark. I'm sorry. I was just like, Walmart for real? Okay, I guess. Food, entertainment. All right, I guess. Okay. So this is where she runs into Rain, who's probably also another runaway or something like that. And they decide that they're going to become mules for $5,000 each. Now, they actually get caught at the airport by an undercover police officer named Jules, who turns out to be a pimp. And basically, they are indebted to him to keep them out of jail. They have to come work for him, okay, being pros and strippers. Now, Kimmy and Rain, they two different personalities, right? So Rain has no ambitions. The only business that she got are short-term goals. She wants to get a BBL or get her butt done so she can make money in the strip club to pay off her debt. And Kimmy, on the other hand, she wants to leave the lifestyle now. So much so where she even applied to get a scholarship that is being given out at this Beauty in Black convention. Now, this is something that was not touched on later. Like, Beauty in Black is a black hair company, and we didn't even get Kimmy talking about wanting to do hair, nails, makeup, cosmetology, anything like that. Like, throughout the entire part 1, maybe in part 2 they'll touch on it, but in part 1, yeah, we didn't get any of that information. But at this Beauty in Black convention, we meet another character, Mallory Bellery. Yes, tongue twister, Mallory Bellery. And she is, like I said, one of the CEOs. She's a philanthropist, and she's giving away $1 million to one lucky salon owner, okay? She seems like a nice lady, right? Wrong. So at the end of the convention, she's actually going outside, signing autographs, taking pictures, and somebody serves her with a lawsuit because the company is being sued for giving people cancer. They're TCP no lie relaxers. Yeah, they're giving shout out to Medea. They are giving people cancer. So this is when we get into Mallory's personality, where she talks about unaliving the lawyer in the middle of the street. nappy headed babies. The lady who she gave $1 million is on the pipe and she wouldn't know it. If it fell out the pipe, she was smoking and all type of stuff like that. I'm just like, this lady is wild. I thought she was nice because she talked about her humble beginnings, how she, was a foster child and kind of stumbled into the Bellery family empire. Yeah, well, nah, she's been engulfed by the Bellery family empire, okay? Because all the humbleness, it's gone. The humility, it's gone. So, Mallory is also mean not only to individuals, she's also mean to, individuals she don't know, but she's also mean to her staff, her driver / security officer, and her personal assistant. So much so that she's upset with them both because how did this lawyer even get past the line of security in the first place to serve me? Get out the car. I'm going to drive myself home. So Kimmy and Rain, they got to get back to work. And let's talk about this club environment. First off, it is a bisexual strip club. So my first thought was, that's a good idea. My second thought was, it's a lot going on. And my third thought was, Tyler Perry. Now, how did you come up with this one? Okay. Honestly, I feel like this show in general, like when you watch the whole thing, I kind of get mixtures of all the Queen's Men, P-Valley, and I haven't seen Family Business, but the girl who's doing my hair, who I was watching this week, she said it's definitely giving off Family Business vibes. But anyways, in the strip club, we meet two important characters, Deidre and Body. Now, Deidre is like the house mom, so of course she keeps all the dancers in check. And Body is the bottom to Jules, so she keeps all the pros in check, okay? And of course, they don't like Kimmy because Kimmy is not like all the other girls. Kimmy doesn't want to be here. Kimmy wants out of the lifestyle. Kimmy has an attitude, period. So they are, throughout the series, going to have to, quote unquote, keep her in check. Now that night, Kimmy actually gets a VIP to everybody's surprise, and it's this older man, okay? Now while she's dancing for him, she sees that he's actually looking at this other dancer named Angel, who's a guy. So when she asks him, do you want me to come get him? I could go get him for you. The older guy gets offended and it's like, y'all generation, y'all so weird. That's not normal. Throws the money at her and leaves, okay? Now, if you thought that Kimmy's night was over, not by far. Okay, so Jules actually got word from Kimmy's trick that she wasn't pleasing him. So of course Jules has to talk to Kimmy, talking about how she's ungrateful and I try to put you on with this wealthy guy. He's a whale. He got all this money and you being ungrateful. Talk about he's weird. You need to shut up and take it. All right. So basically Kimmy has to go back with her quote unquote trick. Now, in the meantime, when Kimmy leaves, Rain also leaves with Body because she wants to get her body done. This is when we get a cameo from T.S. Madison. I love me some T.S. Madison. Well, T.S. Madison, can't remember her name in here, but she's the butt lady, okay? And she is about to pump Rain's booty full of foam. Is that what they do, y'all? Foam? They don't do I thought it was like Fix-A-Flat. It's foam now? Is it the same thing? I don't know. I'm skinny and I'd rather keep it that way because I don't want all the bad side effects that could possibly happen. Okay. Is this dated, y'all? Because now BBLs are so affordable, but is this dated? Because are people really still doing it the illegal way? Y'all let me know in the comment section down below. Whatever the case is, Rain is skeptical, as she should be, baby. You need to follow your first mind because you should have known when Body said to take this liquor with the pain pills. You should have known that it was some rinky-dink stuff going on here, okay? You also should have known that when the butt lady took a quote-unquote discount, you paid her less than what you were supposed to be paying for her, and she still did it. Real business people don't do it like that, okay? I'm just saying. So Kimmy has to go back with her trick and he's still being rude and disrespectful, so she has had enough. She decides to call my wife. Okay, so Siri ends up calling his wife, and the wife is Mallory Bellery, y'all. Exactly. The wife is Mallory Bellery, and she hears her husband having sexual intercourse with Kimmy, the prostitute. So she's so upset. Mind you, she wanted to drive herself home now, right? So she's driving in the rain. She's so upset that she ends up running over somebody who is jogging on the side of the street. And that is how episode 1 ends. Now, let's go ahead and first off, if you are liking my commentary, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, stay tuned for more content just like this. Now we can get into episode 2 entitled A Dance with Daddy. So now I'm going to go storyline by storyline. So let's start with Roy and Mallory. So when Mallory hit the person who was jogging, she got out the car and got right back in the car. She did not stop to render aid or anything like that. Mallory just kept on driving. Now on Roy's way home, he hits the same body that has been left in the middle of the street by his wife. But instead, I guess Roy has a little bit of humanity. He decides to put the body in his trunk and takes it home. So when Roy gets home, Mallory attacks him for cheating on her. Okay. And then once, everybody simmers down and calms down, she asks him, "Did you come down the private road?" And now Roy, thinking that Mallory set him up, he shows her the body that is now in his trunk. So of course, Roy wants to call Jules. He wants to call Jules. Jules is the head of security in this family. He'll know what to do. But Mallory does not trust Jules. She wants to handle this situation on her own. So they decide to drive to her old neighborhood, which is, I think, in Indiana, across state lines, to dispose of the body. Now, this is when it starts clicking to me. Jules. Wait a minute. Jules, the pimp Jules? Jules, the police officer that set up Kimmy and Rain Jules? Jules is also head of security, Jules? Jules is a jack of all trades, okay? So Mallory and Roy, they decide that they're going to take the body and drive it to their old neighborhood, which is across state lines in Indiana. Well, along the way, of course, Roy has been drinking and on drugs and doing the most. So he starts swerving and speeding, and they end up getting pulled over by a police officer. So this is when Mallory has no choice now but to call Jules, because the police officer is now going to take Roy into custody. Now, Mallory tries to stall as long as possible because, don't forget, they have a body in the back of their trunk, in which of that body actually started moving and trying to get out of the trunk. But Mallory ends up stopping it before the police officer can notice. Okay. We also kind of get like a hint of who their family is when the police officer threatens to take Mallory in as well. And she was like, "Do you know who my family is?" And realized that the police officer is wearing a body cam. And of course, with Mallory, image is everything. So she quickly retracts and she apologizes, and she'll tell the police officer, "I'll get away home." Okay. This is when Jules comes and picks up Mallory, and she lets him know the body has been towed away to the impound and we need to get this body out of the trunk. So the next day, Mallory is getting ready for work, and Roy really can't believe that, she can just go on about her day like nothing has happened. And I quote, "I'm not going to let a dead bitch give me wrinkles." Okay. So this is when Roy, we kind of get like the demographic, I guess that's what I'm looking for, of their relationship. And needless to say, Mallory wears the pants. And I see why Roy goes off on Kimmy how he does. Because when Roy says, "You know what, I should divorce you," Mallory politely sits down and reads him to filth. Like, "What are you going to do if you divorce me, baby? You're going to get cut off. Your daddy don't like you. Your brother don't know how to run the company. You don't know how to run the company. How about you go stay with your little church mouse mama? How about that?" Okay? Like, she read him to filth. And he couldn't do nothing but sit there and drink his coffee. Okay? So now we see why he vents or projects on Kimmy, because Mallory lays into him every chance that she gets. So he eventually gets dressed like she told him to do and comes to the office. And of course, they have to maintain their image, because image is everything. Okay, so they come in with the fake smiles. "Oh, honey, how are you? You look great." Yeah. And this is when Jules breaks the news to Mallory that, so we found the truck. We opened the trunk, and nobody was in there. Now let's go ahead and get over to Kimmy and Rain. So when Kimmy came home that night, she found Rain passed out on the bed, from getting her butt done. And Kimmy decides that she's going to call Body because Rain has an infection, baby. The white towels are now yellow. So Body comes over with TS medicine, and they check her blood pressure and, her pulse and everything. And they say, "Oh, everything's fine. Blood pressure's fine. Give her give her this medication. She should sleep well through the night. But if there's any issues," dead air, "call us." I was like, okay, if there's any issues, what? If there's any issues, what? So eventually they say, just call us. Well, Kimmy, obviously, is not like everybody else. She goes against the grain, and she decides to take Rain to the hospital. Of course, This is not what you're supposed to be doing if you run an illegal business. So Jules pulls up on Kimmy at the hospital and has to regulate. Okay. So he lets Kimmy know, all I want from you and all the other girls is to pay your debt to me. You could have had 30 years in prison if it wasn't for me. And all he wants them to do is to pay their debt, keep their head down, and do what they're supposed to do. So I better not catch you at this hospital again. Now back at the club, Kimmy's VIP comes in again, and this time he's a little bit more open and receptive to spending some time with Angel. All right. So she was like, well, I can get him to do anything for $1,500. And the VIP client's like, well, I only got $8. I'm on a fixed income. So Kimmy drops from $1,500 to $300. I said, damn, that's a big jump. And even the trick is like, why such a big difference? Why only $300? It's because I'm an honest hoe. I said, baby, it's not enough honesty in the world to jump from $1,500 to $300, bitch. That is crazy. So, she spills the idea to Angel. Angel don't really have a choice. He got a baby mama. He got a child to care for. He ain't gay, but he'll be gay for pay. And he said, I'm only here to dance for y'all, and that's it. Okay, I ain't smashing this man, and he ain't smashing me. I'm only gonna dance, and that's it. Especially for $300. Okay, Angel, know your worth. So they negotiate on where to meet up, and they're gonna go to Kimmy's hotel, which she pawns off as just a hotel when it's really her house. That's where she's living. And of course, we always got to have the Drake heart to heart, you ain't got to do this type talk. And Kimmy was like, well, you know what? If you really want to help me out, if you really want to repay me for being an honest hoe, can you pay a visit to my friend girl that's in a hospital, because I'm not allowed to go see her. And her client actually agrees to do so. Okay. So when they get to the hotel, the VIP client isn't feeling too well. So he pays Angel, and Angel dips out. All right. So when Kimmy comes in and sees that he's kind of weak, he asks if she could drive him back to his house. All right. And then he'll order a ride for her to go home. Now, when she drives him home, it's down a private road. It's got a gate, a concierge. Baby, they pull up to a mansion. And she said the same thing I said. Baby, this ain't giving no fixed income. Who are you in real life? So, she gets him settled. He asks her to go get his medicine out of his office. And that is when Kimmy sees a mirage of pictures with the client, her trick, Jules, Mallory Bellery. And so she's thinking like, oh my gosh, he's in on this whole thing. This has to be a setup. He has to be the boss of all bosses. I have just ran into the kingpin. And that is how episode 1 and 2 concludes. What are y'all thoughts on Tyler Perry's Beauty in Black, especially as it starts? Go ahead and leave your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. Please, no spoilers, because not no spoilers, even though I've seen the entire series, some people might not have. Okay, they might be watching my reviews as they watch the episodes, so let's just be mindful of that. But yeah, leave your thoughts, comments, opinions. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I already say comment a lot. Emphasis on commenting. Okay. And I'm going to be dropping episodic reviews throughout the week, so make sure y'all have your notification bells on, and I will see y'all next time. Bye.